This is called board and batten siding, and you can see these are hand-forged square-headed nails.
The old Brent's grist mill has certainly seen better days, but that's hardly a surprise. After all, it's 144 years old.
The Brent's mill is the oldest surviving flour mill in the province. It's from 1871. There was a mill that he had before that up at Duck Lake when he first came here in the 1860s. And then he moved here in 1870 and built this mill as the second one.
Some of the floor will have to be rebuilt, as well as the foundation needs some attention. The stairs will probably be made secure.
Council approved a 2015 budget amendment for $210,000 from the reserve funds for building stabilization work. That starts with the walls and the roof.
The conservation report that was done earlier this year indicates that the structure is basically sound. The idea is to enclose the building and protect it from the elements, so that means redoing the siding and the windows and doors and doing a new roof. And there are some structural upgrades that are necessary, but they're not deal breakers.
Growing, harvesting, and milling wheat may seem foreign to Okanagan residents now, but it certainly was a critical part of the area in the 1800s. This mill was one of the first industrial enterprises in the valley, turning grain into flour.
As soon as the people from Europe wanted to settle anywhere, the first thing they do is look after food. And wheat was the common food for making bread. And so wheat went to be planted, and you have to grind up the wheat to make flour. And so a flour mill was something that could really be necessary to support a community.
More recently, the mill has been home to a few migrants and many more marmots. And it's really quite amazing it's still standing.
We're blessed here in the Okanagan with the climate. Historic wood like this stays dry, it will last a long, long time. If this were on the coast or on the other side of the mountains in the rainforest, this would be mushrooms by now.
There are a lot of materials that are on site that have fallen off, and they need to be recovered and reused. And where we don't have materials that we can reuse, they'll have to be fabricated, but consistent with the architecture and the materials of the day. So it'll look very much like the building as it was originally constructed.
Moved from its original location in 2002, the mill is made of pine logs for the post and beam, and that part remains solid. The idea behind the restoration is preservation at this point. A long-term plan still needs to be put in place. While the property is fenced off for now and people simply can't walk through the building, there is tourism potential here.
If we could show enough of it to demonstrate how the mill operated and then tie it back to the history that Kyler was talking about, it's a phenomenal story that the community really needs to know. We need to do a little bit of work to get there.
There's lots of evidence from other parts of the world that flour mills are tremendous tourism and educational opportunities.